All right, what is going on, everybody? Happy Moon Knight Wednesday. This is the finale, unfortunately. But hey, all good things must come to an end. Who knows? Maybe we'll get another season of Moon Knight or a movie or something else all entirely. But hey, we are here to discuss this sixth and final episode of season 1 of Moon Knight, as well as we have some other topics to cover. Fantastic Four lost a member of its family, if you want to call it that, in the director and Jon Watts. We're going to speculate on maybe what happened and who we like to see direct the Fantastic Four. We'll also be talking about, some of us have seen Doctor Strange, obviously no spoilers, but we'll kind of share our thoughts about the film and letting you all know if it's something you should be excited for in the coming days. And then, of course, talking about any other news that comes up. But the big thing is obviously Moon Knight season 1, maybe, of season 2, all the good stuff, the bad stuff, season as a whole. Where does it rank amongst the other shows and all that fun stuff? Me, Amanda, and Chris will have a conversation about all that fun stuff. But before we get into tonight's discussion, we got 14 people that's tuning in live, and hopefully we get more trickling in as we get things started, but appreciate you all watching it live. This has been such a fun journey with myself, Amanda, and Chris. We did this last year. We did it again with this show, and who knows what the future holds, but so thankful for them too, but also thankful for this awesome community. So while we get this live stream going, make sure to like, share, and leave your thoughts in the live chat, and we're gonna get this thing going. With all that being said, let me bring in my first co-host, who's just stressing out. It's a hockey season. She wants your team to win, to get that Stanley Cup. I think that's right. I don't follow hockey much. I think it's the Stanley Cup, but tell me, and only Amanda, what's going on?
You nailed it. You nailed it. It is.
Yes.
Killed it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited. I have so much to say about today's episode, so I'm excited for this.
Amanda, it's a crazy week for us. Just fans of like Star Wars. Obviously, happy May the 4th to everyone out there. Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer dropped. We got Moon Knight to talk about, and then we'll lightly graze on a movie that we both got the chance to see the other night in the form of Doctor Strange. So we'll talk about that briefly. But besides that, Amanda, why don't you let the fine folks at home know who you are and when they can find your awesome content?
Yeah, you guys can always find me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. My links to the website and my YouTube channel are down below, which is Candid Cinema. I also write for Collider and Geek Bomb and all that jazz. I have my Multiverse of Madness review up right now, but of course, spoiler free, because we don't do that here until the weekend when everyone has seen it. So you guys can find me there.
Yeah, I'm very excited to talk about, lightly talk about it with you on this stream, and obviously get Chris's thoughts on the film, and maybe have a further conversation over the weekend about Doctor Strange if time allows it. But yes, guys, Amanda, her links are in the bio. Check out her YouTube channel. Check out on Instagram and Twitter, and of course her articles that she has on Colliders and all the various spots that you can find her awesome content. Definitely do that. But we got my man coming in representing the East Coast. We were talking hockey. We were talking a little bit of basketball behind the scenes, but now we're gonna get this man's take on Moon Knight and all the fun stuff we have talking about tonight. What's going on, Chris? How we doing, man? Oh,
you're muted.
Muting it up.
There you go.
It is.
You knew.
All I was doing was dropping Doctor Strange spoilers, so it's good.
Oh, okay.
Right. Just kidding. I haven't seen it. Yes. What's up? Happy Wednesday. Is that a 10 jersey, by the way, for your team?
For me, no, it's 16.
What number is that?
16.
Oh,
16.
Who rocks? Who's that? Like the main player, or like
he's my favorite, and it's Mitch Marner. He's the youngest one on the team, and he's good.
Man,
he's really good.
Sounds like a hero, Mitch Marner. That sounds like a perfect name for a hockey player.
Yeah.
Are you guys favorites to win this round?
Yeah, we're always favorites, and then it doesn't happen. So
falls apart.
Hopefully, fingers crossed this year. That's all we can do.
All right, I'll be checking the ESPN for you. The ESPN's gonna be like, "What are you doing over here?" I'm like, "All right."
Well, Chris, why don't you let the fine folks at home know who you are, man, where they can find the awesome content, my friend.
What up, people? Happy Wednesday, happy Moon Knight Day. My name is Chris Tait, and I run Tait's Take over here on YouTube. My channel is basically movie reviews, TV reviews, documentaries, all that kind of stuff. I try to give you a little background on that content and just let you know if I think you should take the time to check it out. My information is all in the description of the stuff here, and I see some of the friendly faces. So shout out to everybody in the chat. It's crazy, a quick season. Wow, it feels like just yesterday, but here we are. Shout out to y'all.
Tell me about it, man. Again, we'll talk about that whole 6 episode nonsense that Marvel got us but they keep us wanting more. I guess that's how they see it. But so excited to be here with Amanda and Chris. Like I said up top, we've been doing this since WandaVision came back to do Moon Knight. We'll see what's going on with Miss Marvel and all the other stuff we got this year. But here we're here to talk about this show and all the funness and the goodness, the good, the bad, and everything in between in tonight's live stream. Full spoilers when we get to that portion, but like Chris said, we got some normal, supporters, some homies coming by, showing some love. We got some Sweet Leaves fans. Okay, it may be with you all, like I said up top. If you any Star Wars fans out there, may the force be with you all. But listen, Amanda and Chris, let's start off with a little bit of light news. A director going bye-bye. Jon Watts, if you all know this gentleman, he is responsible for bringing us not one, not two, but all 3 Spider-Man films since 2017. And then most recently in 2021, he is no longer directing the Fantastic Four, which he was announced to be the director back in 2019 at Comic-Con. Tossing it to you first, Amanda. First and foremost, were you shocked when you heard the news? And then after you heard it, were you like, well, that means XYZ can now step in and be a particular director? Your thoughts on this news here?
I never really understood why they chose Jon Watts for Fantastic Four in the first place. Just because he already took on Spider-Man, and considering what he did in No Way Home, like that is a lot of work to put into one movie. So
yeah,
to do that and stay with that one character and then handle like Marvel's first family right after that, and then still direct like his college trilogy type of thing afterwards, like it's a lot for one person to handle. I'm not saying that he couldn't. I'm just saying like go give it to somebody else. You know what I mean? So I think for me, it's like, I'm okay with it. Everyone on Twitter just like, oh my God, he left. And I'm like, guys, like, look at what he has on his plate. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense for me anyway. So I made the joke on Twitter and people got mad at me. And I said, I'm like, why don't we put Peyton Reed as the director for Fantastic Four? But like, apart from that joke, because I love Peyton Reed, you know how much I love Ant-Man. I think that if we get like, don't shake your head, Chris. I think if we get an upcoming director, give somebody else a chance, someone smaller, to just take on the mantle for Fantastic Four, because it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. So.
Yeah, well said, man. I totally agree with you. I never really understood the Jon Watts angle. I know Marvel likes to keep a lot of their, directors to do their trilogies and maybe work on other stuff, a la what we're getting with the Russo brothers or what we got with the Russo brothers. But yeah, I was really intrigued when they did Jon Watts, and we'll get to our speculation who we want to see. But Chris, man, are you saddened by this news? I know you're a big Spider-Man fan and you like the trilogy. Were you looking forward to Jon Watts directing this film, and how do you feel about all of it, man?
I definitely don't care about this news, but I like the whole franchise of the Fantastic Four is so interesting to me. It's kind of like the redheaded stepchild of all the Marvel stuff.
Yeah,
I can't think of
crazy.
anything.
Yeah.
Like there's movies that we hate like individually, but they probably only got like one movie. But there's like a couple different versions of this that people just generally don't like. So I was always like, it took me out of it. I'm like, at some point they'll get it right, but it's like I don't know when that will be. But Marvel has to know like that now we've expected so much. It's like, well, we shouldn't expect anything, but now we're expecting the best. Yeah. So Jon Watts is probably too busy, and also like, what am I doing this for? Like the fans are like, it's like it could be a lose-lose situation where it's like if it's not epic, you lose, and if it's just like another bad movie, then you still lose because you want to go out on top if you did all these Spider-Man movies. Yeah. So yeah, I really don't have any kind of like ideas or speculation on who I want to direct it, but like I'm curious to see if they can save this thing. I mean, it's like we thought it wouldn't be so hard, but we've seen every time I guess it's hard.
Yeah, it's a good point, man. And again, a lot of pressure on someone to come off of 3 successful films for the last 2017, so almost 5 years, 6 years now. And then they gave the Russo brothers the Avengers, but it's 2 of them, right? And now you want Jon Watts to go from that to directing not only just one main character, but a whole family, the first family. It's a lot of pressure. But that brings me to my next question, Amanda. Was this one of those like, hey, Jon Watts, this is Kevin Feige here. Look, man, we appreciate the success that you did with Spider-Man, but we might have someone else in mind. I hope you understand. You know, you can come back. 'Cause I think I read an article that they might bring him back for Spider-Man 4 with Zendaya and the whole crew. So he's going to be fine, no doubt. But Amanda, do you think Kevin Feige maybe had a conversation with another director that he had in mind and maybe wasn't free when they made the announcement and they got free all of a sudden? Any speculation besides Peyton Reed? Any other speculations or directors you would like to see helm this film?
It could be scheduling conflicts. That's another thing. I like that idea where they had someone else in mind and they could step up. I was kind of like looking at Rick, what was his last name? Famuyiwa. He was supposed to direct The Flash. Yeah. So I'm like, The Flash is a massive character. Like DC had him. I'm like, if anyone kind of like deserves to take on something, like I think that losing The Flash and knowing that he was attached to it was like, it sucked hearing that news. So
yeah.
I think it'd be really, I think it'd be a really good choice. I think he'd
like
be
that
able
pick.
to do it. I like that because I think
Yeah.
it's like he's underrated and like that happened over at DC. So maybe give him a chance.
I like that. I mean, he has a relationship with Disney. He directed, if I'm not mistaken, 2 episodes of The Mandalorian, if not 3. He's a great director. And it's been a while since we got like, I think the last film was Dope, which was a dope film to say the least. And unfortunately, like you mentioned, The Flash didn't work out. But I know, Chris, so you couldn't think of anyone, man. But if there was like a wild card pick, someone like you would just pick out of a hat, if you were to see their name attached to you, you'd be like, you know what? That is awesome. That whoever that director is will be directing the first family of Marvel.
Taika. No, I love that guy. I love that guy.
No.
But I think I don't know the director in my mind, but I just think like they should take a page out of the Guardians book of like kind of like this dysfunctional family that's like put together. And like I mean, like I remember it being younger when the first one came out, and like of course I haven't watched that movie in a long time now, but like at the time I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. But like I think you just need to have that kind of energy where it's like, okay, these people are all 4 different entities, maybe some love in there. Like, how do we put them together in a way that's like new and hip? And that's like what the Guardians was when I first saw Guardians of the Galaxy Part 1. I was like, because I didn't expect that movie to be good, and I'm like, oh wow, like I get it. Like they're putting this dysfunctional group together, and it's good TV. So if Marvel just says, look, give me Guardians 1 version of the Fantastic Four, then I think they got something there.
Interesting. I mean, that would be because traditionally speaking, a lot of people think of the Fantastic Four as maybe not as wild or loose cannon or dysfunctional as the Guardians. So they definitely have to bring someone with a different taste or a spin. Might be interested. I know some the purists might not be a big fan of that, but hey, just gotta switch things up. We saw the 2 iterations.
Yeah, because it's like if it's not working, it's not working. Like and it's like just try something. Because like I mean like I don't in the like growing up I didn't love the Fantastic Four. Like they were always like around, but it wasn't like Spider-Man or X-Men or Batman. So I'm just like you might as well just try something that at least they'd be like, all right, look, you guys, 4th time is the charm. But I'm definitely I'm not a purist of the Fantastic Four, so I'm like, look, whatever you guys need to do, it just like stories like this make it look crazy because like I know it's probably nothing nefarious that why this dude left, but it's like it's another thing now. It's like, okay, we like now what, like okay, now we find another new director. It's like it just gives you more like it's like you make people care less. Like all right, like whatever, just release it whenever. Yeah, whoever you want to direct it, it just adds another wrinkle. Like any other movie could have had this, and no one really cared. Would be like, oh, it happens in Hollywood all the time. But now it's Fantastic Four. They're like, okay, you guys are just haunted. Like it's just cursed.
Yeah, I mean, bring up a lot of good points, man. I do hope that it is something that isn't, like you said, nothing too crazy. There's a script issue. There's, as they always use, creative differences. Apparently he just came out and said, "Hey, I've been tired. I want to do other films." But he didn't say other films, but he was been bogged down with the superhero films, and he wants to work on other products. But I think he's doing a film with like Brad Pitt and George Clooney or whatnot. But again, I think he's going to be fine. But as far as like someone I would like to see step up, just kind of going around, full circle, you know, who brought in the first Iron Man, who started the MCU, Jon Favreau. He has a huge relationship built with Disney already. I would love to see what he can bring. I mean, he has some great, you know, family fun adventure films that we've gotten over the years. So I think Jon Favreau would be great. I know a lot of people have brought up Brad Bird, who already directed 2 Fantastic Fours and The Incredibles. And, you know, obviously he has a lot of great films with Iron Giant. He directed one of the Mission Impossible films, so he would be a great replacement as well. And I'm trying to think of like a wild card, like off the cuff, crazy. You know what? Greta Gerwig. Greta Gerwig directed an MCU film. She directed Lady Bird. She directed, you know, Little Women, and she's going to be directing Barbie.
Wow.
Listen,
Elliot, no.
that's my wild card pick. Greta Gerwig, bringing in the first family. There you go.
I will say,
brothers. Give me that energy.
Four brothers. I can't.
I will say,
yeah.
If a woman had to direct, I would choose Bryce Dallas Howard.
Ooh, that's a good pick too. I didn't even know she had it in her. I mean, that's just good directing. Just runs in the family with her and her dad. I like that pick a lot, actually.
John Singleton.
I'm trying to think, is there any other John Singleton? Or from the grave, John Singleton.
Yeah, no, but he did I'm looking at Four Brothers.
Gotcha. maybe back in
yeah. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a great film, by the way. That's probably one of my favorite Mark Wahlberg performances, and Chiwetel Ejiofor was great in that film. I'm trying to think of any other wild people throw out there. Let us know in the chat, guys, if you have any other directors. Let me pull it up. Someone brought up Bryce as well. What's going on, Perp? I would imagine. Ooh, I don't know, Perp. If
you know what?
I don't know if.
Damn, we said at the same time. Nice.
If Steven would want to come in and listen to another Kevin Feige is almost a Steven Spielberg of like producing films. I don't know if they will work, but that would be awesome.
Let's get Martin Scorsese, guys.
That would be hilarious after all those comments he's made about superhero movies. But guys, like I said, watching this live, if you have any suggestions or ideas or directors you would like to see direct Fantastic Four, let us know in the live chat. And of course, if you watch us on the replay. But listen, there's a film coming out, a small, quiet, nothing too big. Doctor Strange. I don't know if you guys heard of him. He does magic and, makes animal balloons on his free time. He has a film coming out by the name of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, no spoilers. Me and Amanda did get the opportunity to see it the other night. Amanda has her spoiler-free review on her channel now, as do I. But I'm gonna keep it brief and short, just to give you all our thoughts on the film. Again, no spoilers. So, Amanda, what did you think about those? No, I'm just joking. Your thoughts, 3 takeaways, positive takeaways that you took away from the film, and then we'll talk about maybe some of the not so positive. So just
I gotta when they on Family Feud when they gotta go in the back and then they the answers. I gotta go in the back. This is crazy.
Okay, so positive.
Just go.
Positives. I would say that this is my favorite Elizabeth Olsen performance. I think that's one of them.
Okay, that's a safe comment. Good.
That's safe.
It's very vague.
Safe.
Yeah.
I got you.
That's good. Keep it up. Good answer. Family Feud.
I thought
Bernice.
Danny. Yeah. Oh, that is a good one, actually. I like that too.
That would
I would say that Danny Elfman's score elevates almost every single scene. I was listening to the score today, so it's out. So please listen to it if you want, just to get in the mood.
Don't read the name of the titles though of the
no,
tracks.
Actually, never mind. Do not listen to the score. I'm sorry. Yeah. That and then Sam Raimi really leaned into the horror elements, which I was very impressed with. So those are my safe comments.
See, look, Amanda, she's a professional, guys. She knows how to keep the spoilers away. You've seen it here. So great call, Amanda. And I agree with you. I'll steal some of those comments without getting too much into it. Definitely agree. The score was fun. It brought me back to the Spider-Man days because they did work together for those 3 films. Speaking of Spider-Man, Sam Raimi, he's back. He hasn't directed a superhero film since Spider-Man 3. And like Amanda said, if you guys, which Chris, I know you're not a big horror fan, but I gotta tell you, bro, there's some horror in this film, man, and that's all I'll say. And then yes, like she said, Elizabeth Olsen, fantastic. fan-freaking-tastic. If you are a fan of her, you know, everything that we got from Age of Ultron, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, all the way up to WandaVision, I think you will be very happy to see a lot of stuff that she does in this film. So outside of those things, of course, there's a million other great things. America Chavez, I don't want to get too much to her. I had fun with that character. I was a little bit nervous about the runtime. I felt pretty satisfied with what we got in the runtime. And yeah, any negatives you want to bring up, Amanda, without spoiling anything that maybe just without elaborate on it, but just things that maybe could have been more, you know, liveling up or, you know, yeah.
Okay, so for me, I felt like there was a balance in screen time for Doctor Strange and Wanda, but at the same time, the writing for Doctor Strange was lacking for me, and I think that's what bothered me the most out of this entire film, was that I just feel like they put all of the writing into for Wanda, considering WandaVision and that connection there. So like I that's the only thing. It was balanced and it wasn't. And then stuff happens and stuff happens and there that one scene that I will say just to Elliot and people who have seen it in the comments, I was very upset with something and I would have rather not have a certain scene in the film is all I'm going to say.
Well said. Well, I think I agree. So we talked about it for months, if not last year.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest Doctor Strange fan, you know, in regards to what we've gotten from him in the MCU. And even though, and I didn't really elaborate on the positive, I was happy with the growth that we do get with the character. But it might just be a me thing. I'm still not able to just like connect to Doctor Strange. I still feel pretty distant to the character and not as, you know, I don't know. I feel Steve Rogers and T'Challa and Peter Parker and all those characters. Like I understand what they fight for, who they are as people, and I still feel like we haven't fully gotten that with Doctor Strange. But I do applaud the effort. But as far as another negative, I will say there are some things I just wish were fleshed out a little bit more. I'll just say that. And I'm not a fan of a particular relationship. I'll just leave it at that. A romantic relationship in the Doctor Strange world. So I'll just say that. I'll just leave it at that.
Aww.
Yeah, it doesn't really work for me. You can see my review to elaborate a little bit more on the relationship I'm referring to. But yeah, there you have it, guys. That's just kind of our light thoughts on Doctor Strange. I think someone did ask. I think it was Morris. Is it worth seeing in theaters? I think so. I wouldn't tell people how to spend their money, but I think
I would tell people how to spend their money. Go to the theaters. You know this is worth it.
I think it is definitely a theatrical experience, and I saw it in the press. And I always, etiquette-wise, you know, I'm pretty tamed. I don't like to, unless I'm in like a Friday night crowd, like I get juiced up and happy with it. But normally I'm pretty contained when I see a film with the press. But I'll just say this film, there were a couple times that I like verbally said things. I was like, oh, like it got that type of emotion out of me.
Yeah.
And other people got those emotions as well. So there are very good, genuine, shocking moments in this film that will be only really appreciated if you see it on the big screen.
I also cried. I just want you to know.
Oh,
that's no surprise.
That's no surprise.
Hey, that's not true. It isn't a surprise, but I teared up. So if that gets you to the theater on top of it, but watch on
I think I know what
you definitely know.
Yeah.
But watch it on the biggest screen possible too. Those visuals, holy Lord, it's so good. So good.
I agree. And then last thing I'll say is I'm telling y'all, this person on the screen now. Wanda. Yeah. So God. Chris, you will be seeing it tomorrow, right, man?
4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Nice. Me too.
If I can make it. Yes. We are twins on that again. Yeah. I've avoided Twitter. I went to you messaged me on Twitter today and I saw and I ended up, I guess you added me and then I saw Amanda type. They did it for Moon Knight and I'm like, fuck, spoilers everywhere.
Sorry.
Instagram. Unless someone puts me in a comment, then I can just see that one post and get out of there. TikTok, I knew they wouldn't have no spoilers, so I've been getting some TikTok. I've been so bored. Like I'm missing my social media. I'm going through my camera roll and just deleting old shit, just like spring cleaning, like just deleting old movies, like videos and pictures. That's how it's my nightly routine is now gone.
Keep it going, bro. Because as you just mentioned, there's some stuff that's been getting out there on the internet. Even Marvel, for God's sake, he's even put stuff in the trailers that in the last week has just been baffling.
Yeah, I've avoided the trailers, and then even when you watch the basketball, the playoffs, they got Doctor Strange every commercial break.
Literally, run out of the room.
Yes,
I don't know if it's the same way for the NHL, but I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it is. It's bad. Like literally, I saw something before Monday, and I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was so pissed off. So stay off, literally.
Yeah, be careful out there, guys. But again, Amanda's reviews on her channel now, as well as mine. I recorded a spoiler review on for myself yesterday.
I gotta do that.
Somehow it became like 35 minutes. So keep an eye out for that video.
Ooh, and then Elliot's ranting again. My goodness.
if time allows it, I would love to have a more deeper discussion with Amanda and Chris maybe this weekend with spoilers and having a conversation with you all to really dive deeper into this film. And I can't wait to hear Chris's reactions to the film. So hopefully we can get that going this weekend. But guys, let us know in the chat if you've bought your tickets, if you're excited for Doctor Strange in the multiverse of madness. So speaking of madness, the ending, like Chris said, I mean, it just kind of snuck up on us in regards to Moon Knight. I feel like it was just yesterday where Steven was just, working at a museum and getting, yelled at by his boss. And now he's a new man with a new suit and a new best buddy. But Amanda, starting off with you, just kind of getting the conversation started. How did you feel after you immediately got done watching this 6th episode of Moon Knight?
So first, I just want to point out that I had no idea that the title was Gods and Monsters because it did not show up on my Disney Plus.
Yep, it just said episode 6 for me too. Yeah.
Okay, I thought I was like the only one. I'm like, why am I not special? I was like, what is this happening? But I woke up early. I watched it, and I was satisfied. I think that's the word that I can use with this particular finale. I felt like it was a bit rushed. Again, we talk about it every week. These 6 episodes are very annoying. Crazy. And you can't get everything in there. You can't tie everything as cleanly as you want. But satisfied. Post-credit scene's great. We'll get into it. And I'm very happy with it. As a whole, this is like really close to my heart, and I love it.
Well said. Well said. Chris, man, same with you. After you got done seeing this episode, man, the first thing that came to mind besides, man, I could probably go for some pizza or go up the street to, get this, that, and the third. What was your immediate thoughts after finishing this episode, man?
No, I really do want some pizza. I'm not going to hold you. Amanda knows. But, I thought I thought this is a good episode. I thought it was a good finale. I thought it was a good finale compared to the other MCU shows.
Yes,
for sure. And I think that I thought in my head, I was like, okay, people will like this. Like the world will accept this episode and the world will accept this show as a whole. Yeah. I think that there's a camp. I've never been the type to like the Inception, Tenet type of movies where you don't know what's real and what's not. There's a camp of people who just are not into that. Yeah, those people will probably have issues with this whole show as a whole because you kind of don't know what's real and what's not, which is from what I understand part of the comic. Right. Then that's cool that they're doing that. So it's I'm cool to watch something new and creative and all that, but I think there's going to be a camp of people who are I'm pretending to understand what's happening here. And I don't fully know. The action is cool, but I don't know. But I guess the message is that's how the comic is. You're supposed to be kind of confused. So I think that's cool. At the end of the day, I think you are probably happy with the action that you got. You finally got to see some of the suits. When you got to that level of seamlessly switching between, that's peak Moon Knight from what we were waiting for this whole season. So we'll get into how long the episodes are and how many they should get and all that. But that's those are my intro thoughts.
Well said, guys. I think I'm right there with you. And let us know in the chat, guys, how you all felt immediately after watching this episode, as well as, liking, sharing, and all that fun stuff. But I was I watched the episode probably about 4 hours ago. I stayed off the internet, didn't see anything, didn't see any, good, bad, or whatever. So I went in fresh, and I walked out pretty satisfied. There are some more critiques that I had, the visuals weren't as clean, Obviously Moon Knight's suit was CGI the whole time, but for some reason this episode when I'm like, that is very apparent that it was CGI. So I don't know if it was rushed. A couple other shots that were a little bit not as clean, but outside of those things, man, I was pretty happy with how things ended, how we got a post-credit scene for a character we've been speculating about since day one. So yeah,
with
pretty
a
happy.
crazy twist.
Yeah, man, definitely. And we'll get to that. And then like Chris said, I was looking for the action. And they gave it to me. And it was some good action, too. It wasn't just like, I think of WandaVision, just sparks of visual effects of clashing of colors. It was like actual hand-to-hand combat. We got freaking gods fighting each other. And that was pretty cool. Did not expect that. So I was pretty happy, man. And again, we'll get into it more. But overall, like you both said, I think this is one of my favorite finales compared to, a lackluster WandaVision or Falcon and Winter Soldier or Hawkeye. Kingpin. I'll never forgive Disney. Never will forgive Disney what they did to Kingpin. Never. Yeah. But getting into the actual episode here, Chris, man, starting off with you, opens with Hero talking his stuff to Moon Knight, Mark Spector, Stephen Grant, whoever's inside of you. It's time for me to heal the world. As Layla's, mourning him, takes a scare on herself and goes on this mission. How did you feel about just kind of opening things and just jumping right into the action, man?
I was happy here because I didn't want to go back to the asylum or so I'm like, I can't handle any more of that. So it's like when I saw that they went back to where we last saw, him get those 2 shots, I was like, okay, cool. Like, that actually happened. Like, let's go back. Let's address that. So I thought it was a good opening. And then, of course, we get to see Layla, which I guess was it last episode we didn't see a lot of Layla. Yeah. So I was happy that she was back.
Only thing I thought was weird was like, is she invisible? Like, is she has?
Nah, good. Of course. Yeah, they're like, yeah, we don't care. They're like, we don't care.
Did they not realize she was in a tomb still? Yeah. But hey, she Tom Clancy'd her way and took that guy out without anyone noticing. And Hero, man, his 20, like his vision, his earring is completely off. Especially this one scene where we're right by the car, and like he's like, someone talking? It's like, what are you doing, bro?
There's a lot of those, a couple of those scenes this whole show where I was just like, what do you like? It's like a loud noise that they both react to. Did you hear that? Yeah. Like they did that at least twice before today. Yeah, and I forgot. I haven't brought up each week. I keep forgetting. But yeah, they did that, and I was like, what is happening here?
It's weird. So what happens, Chris, is the soundtrack and the show, they hear that. Yeah. So like it's all the ambient noise. But Amanda, your thoughts on this opening? Again, he's on his mission. Obviously there's 2 shots in the chest, puts a scare up on his chest, and then we actually transition to him on the streets using his new powered up Power Rangers cane here with the new powers. He's taking the souls over these police officers. One of them soul is purified or what have you. But we get we get the cell phone. We get the Sixth Sense moment with Tuet communicating through the dead to Layla regarding she can't do this alone. Your thoughts on this kind of opening sequence here?
I just love that we're getting like more Arthur Harrow. I feel like he's been kind of sailing underneath the radar the past 5 episodes. So to actually start with him in the finale, I thought was really smart. Again, like people say that like we didn't get enough of him and his plan, but I'm like, he kind of told us his plan in the first episode.
Yeah, like, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Like, what more do you want him to do? He's there every step of the way.
Yeah.
Taunting them, tracking them. Like, that's what a villain's supposed to do. Like, I don't know what like people were expecting with that. But yeah, I'm happy that we got to see more of him with his, the staff of Amit. I love that. I love that Tarek came in channeling those dead cops. And I'm just looking at it like, this is wicked. Why can't we get more of this? Like, we need more of this, like, lore and like this mythology in Marvel. But I did catch, like, she said something underneath her breath that foreshadows what happens, obviously, afterwards, which is so wicked. And I was taken aback. I was like, what's happening? But there were like a lot of surprises in this episode that I really didn't see coming. And I think that's why I love this series so much, is because we've tried to predict things happening and we were almost wrong every single time for the next episode. And that's what I love. It's exciting. So so just to say about Arthur Harrow, like, I'm happy that we got to see that side of him and happy we got to see a bit more of Layla.
Yes, Layla for sure. And to your point to it, man, I was very compared to other villains in the Marvel, not only just movies but shows. I thought Ethan Hawke really was great. Like I don't
So
think there
good.
was any like you said, his mission was pretty straightforward. He was pretty, he even admitted a couple weeks ago that he actually liked being the fist of vengeance for Kanju. So it shows he does
Yeah.
have that villainous nature to him.
Yeah.
But I really thought that Ethan Hawke was great. Chris, man, your thoughts on fantastic actor, number one, as his career speaks for itself. But
Oh my God.
were you happy, dissatisfied, didn't feel you got enough of Arthur? What did you think of this portrayal?
I agree with Amanda. Like I thought it was pretty clear what he wanted to do from the beginning, and I guess
Yeah.
to me, but this might be my favorite of like Ethan's performances of the series. I feel like I just got like everything that I needed, and you got a
Yeah.
little bit because it's like the range is really him as Arthur with like Stephen and Mark. Then it's him in front of the gods. Then it's him as the doctor. So like
Yep.
that's like kind of like the trifecta of his range. So I was
Yeah.
like, you got pretty
Good
much
point,
all
man.
of those today. So I was like, oh, this is like I was happy with his performance.
And bring up such a great point. Everyone has been given double duty in this show, whether it's Layla now
Mhm.
taking on this new persona, Ethan Hawke, like you just pointed out, Chris, having being the doctor, an avatar, a previous avatar of someone else, the villain on the
Yeah.
show. I mean, it was three because every time I always thought like the show always highlighted not just Oscar Isaac, but you always saw Lila with them and obviously Ethan Hawke. So they really did carry the show, and I like that they
Yeah.
really brought it all home in this finale. But going from there, we kind of get more of that where that action starts. And this is where we see Hero takes out the gods pretty easily. I will say I was looking for a little bit more of a fight from them. But it is what it is. I think
I guess they try
Ahmed
to
has a little bit
get
more.
ahead of it when he told them that they're not warriors. So like I guess it was trying to
Yeah,
like prepare
that's true.
us
That's
as
true.
the audience. It's like okay,
Yeah.
that's why.
Kind of get a little scapegoat there. And I will say it was this kind of, I always like, you goddamn idiots. If you were listening to Mark and Kanju a couple weeks ago, they're like, oh, it's Hero. Like, wait, I thought he was off your radar, but neither here nor there.
Yeah.
We see him take some off. And I got to admit, the look of Ahmed was pretty cool. The visuals at some points were a little wonky, but that
Oh,
crocodile looking creature
so
was
cool.
pretty cool. Amanda and Chris, your thoughts on this whole taking out the gods and seeing the live? I didn't think we were going to see Ahmed. I thought they were going to probably leave it and just kind of allude to it coming, but no, they get
Yeah.
it pretty quick. Your thoughts on it, Amanda?
I really love the design. Like she's like larger than life and
Yeah.
menacing. Like I really I liked her. Like again, special effects aren't always the best, but
Mhm.
I think for like the character designs, they've pretty much nailed it. Like even Khonshu looked clean as hell
Oh yeah.
coming back in this
Yes.
episode. So yeah, I like that. I love the interaction with Ethan Hawke and like Ethan Hawke in that moment when he's talking to Amit, like the emotions in his face, like almost on the verge of tears that he's actually like talking to her is
Mhm.
ridiculously good. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I know like taking out the gods, as you said, Elliot. I'm like, fight, do
Yeah,
something.
I
Like,
thought the
what do
guys
you?
were gonna come. We was gonna get but
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
it's only
epic battle.
40-something
But
minutes. Yeah,
the epic battle came later.
true.
So
Very true.
yeah, but I like the special effects and the character design for sure.
I agree. I thought she looked fantastic. Chris, man, your thoughts, and also I guess your thoughts, Chris, going back to Ethan Hawke. I think we pretty much get the understanding of the whole the Yeezys with the glass in it is because he was unbalanced this whole show. And this whole show he's
Mhm.
been trying to like inflict pain on himself to kind of balance out all his evil deeds. So I think that kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought that kind of answered that question of why he's doing that. But your thoughts on the
Yeah.
scene and the conversation and everything that we got here?
Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me that because I did like that when the episode when she tells him like he's telling her like I'm not balanced, like why would you need me? And then she's explaining like, bro,
Mhm.
like I done hooked up with balanced people and it let me down, so
Yep.
I'm willing to give you a chance. So I was like, okay, like that helped explain it. So thanks for reminding me that part that I liked. But yeah, I like the look too. I hated the hippo, and I was like, this is way better. As a Florida Gator too, I respected it. I was like, shout out to Loki with the gator,
With
and
the
then
Gators.
Yes,
and
they
then
need to meet.
this.
They
Shout
need
out,
to meet.
shout out reptiles, we out here. But yeah, I thought this was a good scene. And yeah, like we all wanted the battle, but I was like, okay, like they're just trying to like save the VFX like from whatever they had because it's like, look,
Yeah.
let's just say that they can't fight, and then let's keep it moving.
I agree. And I agree with this comment here. The braids were much fresher than someone in a film coming out in a couple days. I'm talking about Chiwetel Ejiofor. Like his braids were not on point. But anyway, guys, getting back into it. We takes out the gods, and then we get again at this point, Layla knows that she has to release Kanju. So while they're fighting and all that stuff, he's back. Hashtag free Kanju. He is back, and he immediately is like, I need a body, an avatar. And she's like, no, sir. You tormented my husband. I already know game. Ain't no way I'm letting you borrow my soul and my mind. He's like, fine. I don't sense a Mark Spector here, but I guess we'll figure something out. And he has a conversation. And I'm a sucker for like just super beings having conversations. These two gods having a conversation. They have a history together. She says, "Oh, time has not been good to you, my friend," alluding to why he looks like a skeleton versus her being, more flesh and whatnot. So I need that flashback scene. I need that episode of young Kanju in these streets, how he used to hang back in the day. But Amanda, your thoughts on that conversation? And Layla, again, she was an MVP for me in this episode. Like, Kanju, I don't care who you are. You ain't no way you gonna be. I'm gonna let you be the avatar. Your thoughts on all that?
I think my favorite thing about Khonshu is the fact that like he actually has these conversations with people. Like he's not forceful. He's just like, you know what? Let's talk about it. I'm gonna sway you best I can, but let's talk about it. Like he doesn't just take them. Where Amit looks hella menacing, like, look at this. Like, I feel like she'll rip me in half, Jesus. But Khonshu's like, I'll go to a bar with Khonshu and we can talk about the situation. Like, I love that. So having that conversation with Layla and Khonshu is always fun. It's interesting, even when he talks to Mark or Steven. Like, it's just it's like this god, like it's this higher being getting on a human level, and I like and I appreciate that a lot that they did that.
I agree. Chris, man, any thoughts on this this conversation between these two gods, and any other things you picked up out of this scene before Layla's like, nah, not today.
Yeah, you mentioned it, like when she tells him that like time hasn't been good to you. Remind me of, what does it remind me of from Endgame?
Time hasn't been good to you, Endgame. I don't know.
When Thor goes back to see his mom.
Oh, gotcha.
Cries.
Nice.
Cries.
Yes.
And I was like, damn, nice callback. And but yeah, we always talk about Kanju's voice, and it's fire. But I feel like something about this episode, I was like, yo, like he's good. Like he's like
it's urgency. He got some urgency in his
yeah. Like the voiceover nice on that character is crazy. Like you just feel like you just want to hear him talk more. And so I was like,
I can listen to a whole audiobook of him just going over all the MCU events. Him and Luis.
Yes.
Give me that mixtape. Give me that mixtape, Kevin.
That is such a good pairing. Oh my god. I love
little bedtime stories. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, that'll be epic. I like that. I like that scene a lot. And like you mentioned, like two gods just kicking it, like, not getting too spicy, just a couple jabs here, a couple jabs there. It was a dope scene.
And the jabs do come, because they do eventually get to the blows. And Kanju ain't winning, I'll tell you that, for a hot second. And he has to say, oh, Mark Spector's back. My dummy puppet doll is back. Let me go find him, because I ain't winning this battle, which Amanda alluded to. Like, Amanda is no one. She wants all the smoke, which we'll get into a little bit later. I guess I'm trying to remember if it happened now and then, but they leave that tomb, alluding to, and if we're assuming that all those avatars are gone, I wonder if someone's gonna go in that tomb and start cracking open some gods and unleashing the gods to the Egyptian gods to the world. I don't know if Thor: Love and Thunder will tackle that, or if God the Butcher will come to Earth, and because I don't know, speculations, but we'll see what's going on in the Chamber of Gods there. But checking back in again, the fight sequence between those two, one of many, very Godzilla versus Kong. We got two fights with the gods, but now time to go back to last week's kind of therapy session with the tears and the sadness. We go back to Mark, whose heart's filled. He's in a good space. It's silence. It's peace. It's just beautifulness. But Amanda, I know you probably got it. And I actually was rooting for this moment. I can't abandon Steven. I got to go back and get my little brother, my little homie. And your thoughts, Amanda, on this whole sequence of him not abandoning Steven. He puts the heart in hand. They're happy to see each other, and then they go into the gates. But just your whole thoughts on just this whole setup of Mark finally admitting to wanting and needing Steven and abandoning this happiness for eternity for his brother.
I obviously teared up. Like, what else is new? I thought that this was extremely well written because it felt symbolic too, in the fact that Mark is going to live with his past trauma. He's going to live what Steven actually means to him because he's a piece of Steven.
Yeah.
And then it feels like he's accepting like his DID, he's understanding his DID. So I thought that it was such a beautiful scene, especially putting his heart in his hand. Like, that was such a beautiful moment. And then he says that, like, I think you were like my superpower all along. And I'm like, that is so beautiful in relation to like his disorder. And I think that that's really important to put out there. So in a way, like, he's saying that I'm not whole without Steven. And then that's what makes them walk out of there together. So I thought it was so well written, a great performance again by Oscar Isaac. So yeah, it's one of my favorite scenes of the finale.
Well said, man. And as you just mentioned, as far as accepting DID, a film I like. I know it has some controversy, but Split. I know a lot of people in that community was very upset with the portrayal, like showing that it's like terrible, it's horrible, it's a horror film, right? But this show actually showing that people live with it and they can, they're content with it, as you just mentioned, as far as, Steven is my protector, and then I'm happy to almost kind of symbolic of not being able to save his little brother or older brother. I can't remember if it was younger or older, but being able to not save his brother, and now he has that opportunity to save it. And, Steven, as Chris, I think, said, it was kind of like a brother to him last week. So, Chris, man, your thoughts on the superpower is Steven, who he grew on me. He finally grew on me. I'm a Steven Grant fan. Whoa, everyone calm the freak down.
Calm the F down.
Calm that down. Steven, I'm here for him, man. Your thoughts, Chris, on this reunition of the two.
Speaking of new words, reunition. Shout out
reunition, man.
No, I'm proud. I'm proud to be on the day one Steven fan club. This feels really good. This scene right here. Tell me this don't look like Aladdin when he was going in front of the thing. I thought about that the whole time. I was like, yo, this is Aladdin.
I mean, you said last week that whole scene was very Aladdin. That whole
The
dooms.
Yeah, I was just happy to get Steven back. So whatever he needed to do, man. Of course, I'm not gonna cry. Like, it was a little sappy, whatever. I was just happy. I was like, whatever we need to do to get Steven back, I was happy to see that. So that was cool. And then it was good imagery as far as putting the heart, and then them going to sand again, getting healed, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I thought that was cool.
It was dope. Again, accepting his other half, which is so great. And speaking of dope and great, discuss Harley with the 1999 super chat. The crew have so many questions. We'll drop them in the chat. We are here to answer them. And I think I saw something else about Harley, where she's been lately, which congratulations. College graduation coming up. I'm here. Well, congratulations to you. Shoot us over some DMs with the pictures and you holding all the stuff and smiling. Shout out to you. That is so awesome. And then also shout out to Derek here. I feel like Moon Knight could have been better. I want to see listen, Derek, we're gonna get to that a little bit later, my friend. If Disney isn't going to show Deadpool, then why not? Listen, we're gonna get to that here in a second, Derek. Any thoughts on that before we get into that conversation? Amanda, the blackout scenes, did you want those scenes?
Wait, sorry, what do you mean by the blackout scenes?
Like
whenever we would get the third person.
Oh, sorry, I heard a noise and I was like, what's happening in my room?
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind that. Come on over, man. I'm good with that. I like Conju. No, I think that they placed it at the right moment, especially towards the end of it. I like the blackout scenes. I think it was effective in showing the violence, especially for a Disney Plus show. Like, you didn't see all of it. And I think that worked better for this case. Like, I understand that you want to go like full violence. You want to see them like beat everyone. And like, I get that. But I think it worked. I thought it was like different, and I'm okay with not seeing the blackout scenes, because then that would take away from how his mind works. So I think that's effective.
Chris, your thoughts on Derek's comments here, missing out on the rooftop kills, and then obviously we'll get to it in this episode a little bit later.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like, okay, I need those, but I think that's a cool thing if you get to season 2 and you get some flashbacks, and then they're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
If money was no object, I'm sure they could have like a quick like mini series of like Moon Knight Blackout, like
Yeah.
had the extended moments of like all the stuff that we missed. But yeah, I was cool with how they had it. Leave a little suspense.
A little okay. Well, I'll share my opinion on it a little bit later, Derek. But shout out to you as well as Discuss Harley with the super chat. You guys are awesome, and everyone watching live. Again, we got 51 watching live. If you haven't already, that little thumbs up, give it a little click.
I didn't
As
even
well
hit
as
it yet. Yo, I'm so fake.
oh, you good, bro? You good? You good?
Good
But
now.
thumbs up, share the video if you guys can, and of course, continue to leave your thoughts. I know Discuss Harley. Let us know what questions you have in the chat. We'll try to get to them. But and of course, everyone on the replay, if you could do the same, that'd be greatly appreciated. But moving on to Moon Knight. He's risen. He's back in the flesh, as we see here on the screen. Like I said, the only nitpick I have, like for some reason, I don't know what it was about this scene, but every transition from the Moon Knight suit was a little bit cleaner. I don't know if this was not finished up in the visual department, but neither here nor there. The big thing is Moon Knight's finally back. He was absent for the last few weeks, and he's back in the suit, ready for some action. As him,
I had to rewind it because I was like, how did he get in this? Like, I had to rewind it. I was like, did I blink? Like, what happened?
it happened. He can't. He's back. And I guess because there was the monologue with Kanju realizes that Mark was back, and he's like, "Oh, my Moon Knight's back," and then he absorbs. He takes on the mantle, what have you. But we do get a moment here. The bronze and the brain steps in and say, "Hold on one second here, Mike. Before we do anything saving this world, we gotta renegotiate our terms here." As he tells him, "You gotta let us free if we go ahead and accomplish this mission." Before he flies off in the sky, which was there were so many beautiful shots in this episode. It's incredible. But Chris, man, Steven being that Rich Paul for LeBron James fans out there, renegotiating that deal and being like, no, man, we ain't just working for free anymore.
Yeah, that and then what it did show was like Steven's confidence just building, like. He's like getting into this role.
See that
like
leg over the other leg? Yeah, man. He got
that's how I'm sitting right now, not even thinking about it. Look at me.
Channeling your inner Steven, Chris.
Exactly. I just thought it was like kind of like he had a little mini coming out party, but this was like I'm out here with you, like from like the first time we saw Mr. Knight, like take over. I can't handle this. So I thought it was a cool scene. I mean, the suit is so far. If you don't think of Deadpool when he comes out, then I don't know what you've been watching. But I can't not think of it when he's in the suit.
Bro, we need Moon Knight and Deadpool. We need Steven and Deadpool to have a conversation. In particular, Steven to have a conversation. I need
that. And the taxi guy.
And the Jake. Yes. Make it happen, Marvel. Please. Amanda, your thoughts on Steven again, as Chris just alluded to, from when we first met him, very timid, very scared, can't speak up for anyone, including himself. But now he's talking to a god with confidence like we've never seen before.
I absolutely love his character development. I think that the reason why I love this so much is that Mark is like fully leaning into Steven, and where like Mark would have negotiated with Khonshu, like Steven's taking on the role of like the protector for me, for Mark, as he was when he was a kid. So I just love that he sent Steven out. And I just love the confidence, as you said. I think that just like it's just good stuff. All of it is fantastic work. I love the Mr. Knight suit, but now that he's gonna be a bit more brutal in the Mr. Knight suit, I'm like, let's do this. Like, that's the Mr. Knight that I wanted to see. So I was happy with it. Like, look at Khonshu.
That's a fire shot.
Look at this.
Listen, I'm telling y'all, man, I'd say there's small little grievances with some of the looks and shots kind of throughout the series, but for the most part, we got to be honest. This was some clean visual effects. And they really came to bring these characters to life. And I like, again, like you said, I mean, this Khonshu, I mean,
looks so good.
I want to know, is there, can you cosplay that? Are we going to be seeing people cosplay as Khonshu this year?
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy, but they'll definitely do it. You'll definitely see a lot of.
You have to cut your head off to make it happen.
So,
oh.
Yeah. If you want to do it right.
If you want to do it right.
You got to do it right.
That's the only way to do it.
But it has that like that Beetlejuice look. I don't know if you guys remember Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah, yes.
It has that kind of look to it.
I agree. But speaking of kind of look to it, we got a new look for Lila. She now has accepted a god, which I think her and Tait are two of a perfect pair. She allows her to become her avatar. She also gets a little bit of closure as far as her dad goes. She hears that her dad is in the field of reeds. He's at peace himself. But Amanda, Lila, new suit. looking pretty badass. I jokingly said in my review that she, and it's not by no means a knock on her. She kind of like a little bit of Wonder Woman, like a discount version of Wonder Woman, but in a good way.
You had to think that.
Yeah, but in a good way though.
No, for sure.
But she looks badass. Your thoughts on this transition, this character, and we need more of her, right, in the future?
Oh, for sure. I think what I love the most about this is that we got the Moon Knight suit early on, and we didn't expect another hero to kind of suit up.
Yep.
I didn't expect this at all. This is one of the most like fantastic surprises. And then when the wings pop out, I was like, please film everything forever. Like literally.
Yeah, seriously.
So
and it kind of did. It sounded very similar if you remember.
It did. They were conscious of it. They were.
Yeah.
But Mohammed Diab, I heard there was a joke that like he put more effort into like Layla's costume and like Layla's storyline than he did in Wonder Woman 1984. So like that was I mean, there's similarities as we said, but like I really love Layla's character, especially if she's like the Scarlet Scarab, I think they're calling her right now, and
okay, that's the
something like that.
That's pretty dope.
From what I heard, and I'm like, yeah, it looks really cool. I adore her right now. Look at those arms. Kill it, girl. Like
I saw it was I follow her on Twitter now, or not Twitter, but Facebook, Instagram, which I guess are the same. Seeing her training, I was like, wait, but we haven't I mean you could train as much as you want, but I'm like, what is she training for? Well, now we know. Now we know. Chris, man, your thoughts. It's so funny when she said Wonder Woman 84. I don't know if you remember, Chris, 2020, our watch along, particular awkward moment that we had in that stream. I will fill you in, Amanda, after the stream. It was so funny. But your thoughts on Wonder Woman 2022 version here with Lila coming out, ready to get those hands going on Hero.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they could have done to make it less Wonder Woman or like make us not think that, but we like it is what it is. But it still looks cool. It's still Layla. She's still owning it. The one thing I would have done differently, I didn't love the "Are you an Egyptian superhero?" It's like it was too on the nose, in my opinion. It was like, okay, like I know what you want to do here, Marvel, but like you could have done it in like a cooler, more natural way. Like in the middle of of that battle, it's just like, okay, let's stop for it's kind of a little bit of Endgame when all the women are fighting together, where it's like of course it's like that's a cool moment, but you don't have to force it down our throats. I think maybe I would have done it where it's like a little girl talking to her mom, and then the girl says and the girl says, wow, I got an Egyptian superhero, and the mom goes, there are no Egyptian superheroes, and then Layla turns around, something in Egyptian like now there is, or something like that, and then goes back to kicking ass. I would have done it. I would have done it a little smoother. But besides that, it's still a cool look. Of course, we love it. Look at converted.
I agree. And I think and what was it again, Amanda? What was the what scarab?
I think it's the Scarlet Scarab from what I saw.
That sounds badass.
Right.
Scarlet Scarab. Oof. I need more of it. Layla, she's looking dope. But I will say, and not to poo-poo on this, it was dope. Did she look at the camera? Did she look at the camera when she did it?
The Egyptian
Layla,
superhero?
No, not the Egyptian. Like Layla when she did the wings. So. Did she look at the camera, or am I tripping?
She looked up, I think. Like it's above the screen. Like I feel like it's above the camera, but like I understand exactly what you're saying. I'm
gonna have to watch the replay again because I don't know if the picture shows her with the wings. But neither here nor there. I mean, it's badass. Sometimes you gotta acknowledge. And I love her curly hair. I don't know what it is, man, about curly hair. She's But anyway, so great. But we move on to the light show. The souls are now being taken. And by the way, I know those people in Egypt are just like, God damn, we just had the sun be removed a couple days ago. Now I guess I saw the meme online. People in Marvel Cinematic Universe at this point are just like, whatever. Aliens, T'Chari, Thanos is another Tuesday in the MCU. But yeah, we see the light show happening, and she's absorbing these souls, and I freaked out. I'm like, is she getting bigger? Amanda, she's getting bigger. And then I don't know how Kanju got bigger. I don't know. This is probably part of the skill set. I don't know. I guess I might have missed something. Powered up, but either way, we get giant Ahmed versus Kanju. We get Layla and Steven and Mark fighting Hero. I mean, what else can you want, Amanda? This was a pretty badass scene. Your thoughts on it?
Obsessed.
So
Literally obsessed. I think that they had Pym particles somewhere, and let's have that connection. Let's bring in Pym particles.
yeah,
Yeah, I think there was something like that. But it was like, you know, King Kong versus Godzilla, same
exactly.
like
Yep,
vibe,
same
exactly like
vibes.
you know what I mean. So I loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Every action scene, the second they stepped out of here, the second Moon Knight came in, as you mentioned before. And when his cape turned into a crescent moon, started flying, like it's these shots were
Fire.
ridiculous,
Yeah,
so good. And then I liked the fight scene. I thought,
yeah,
as Chris mentioned at the very beginning, between Moon Knight and Mr. Knight, I thought the editing was like seamless. You
Yeah.
could throw weapons and
Yeah.
then cut to the next person. I thought it was excellent, and I would love to see more of that. I think that it's a very unique way to have a fight with one hero
yeah,
and
yeah.
keep switching like that.
Mhm.
So wicked. Oh, this action scene is like everything that
Yeah.
I was waiting for. So I was happy they saved it.
And what was so cool, and Chris, your thoughts on it, man, is obviously we got these gods fighting, and then we have, as he called, these ants, if you want to call them that, but on the ground level. But it's and then the fights, like at one point, Ahmed is winning, which means heroes winning, and just the parallels going on. But I do want to rewind, Chris, man. Mr. Knight, aka Steven, he's talking about, I got these new skill sets. I don't know how he got it. I assume I don't know. I guess because him and Mark are so in tune that he now knows how to fight as Mark knows how. But either here or there, I mean, he was kicking ass. Chris, your
Yeah.
thoughts on these action sequences here, man?
Yeah, this is when I was like, oh, Elliot's going like this. He's getting what he needs. Yeah.
man.
And I thought that at that point where he said, like, my new skill set, it was just like kind of like a little cute thing where he's like so proud
Mhm.
to like show it off to Layla. Because it's like a lot of the first time we saw him, it was him like, getting out of it. Because like, Mark had to tell him, like, bro, like, you're going to get us killed. Like, you get people hurt. Like, get out of here. So it's kind of like that full circle of just like, look, like, yeah, I picked up some things.
Yep. He did, and throwing, like Amanda said, throwing the his weapon and Moon Knight catching it, that's dope. And if we do see them, and we'll talk about when we hope to get this character again, I really would like to see that three of them. And Jake, I wonder if he has his
And I
own
don't think the
suit.
suit gets dirty. Like every time I thought they would get dirty, it don't get
Never.
dirty.
It don't, man. It's clean
I
and
love
fresh
it.
at all times.
That's the power of Clorox.
Yeah, man. And as Chris alluded to earlier, this is the scene where we see, are you an Egyptian hero, superhero, whatnot? And she says she is. And then again, I'll you know what? I'll take it, Chris. I will take that scene 10 times over than the Infinity or the Endgame scene because it is cool. I mean, it's we number one, we don't how often in the MCU have we globe trotted and go into different parts of the world, and for that little girl to see her Delilah in full effect, I'll take it. It was a little bit on the nose, but I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
Yeah. It wasn't like I didn't roll my eyes, but I was like,
yeah.
Could
have been rolled a little bit more. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Amanda, did you have any thoughts on that particular scene?
I feel like it was subtle. Like I had a smile on my face when she said
Yeah.
that, so it wasn't
tongue in cheek.
forced as like the Endgame one, as we talk about. It wasn't forced. So I appreciated that they did that for sure.
I agree. Well, Derek mentioned it earlier, but I just want to get you guys as more thoughts on, because I'll just say it, I want to see those blackout scenes, Chris and Amanda. I want to see the action from Jake Lockley. I want to see him kill those people. And like you said, Chris, I would have liked if we would have just got the flashback there, just to kind of allude to just like when we saw him going and switching over, like us going back as well and seeing what happened on the roof. Maybe him axing out the girl at the museum, and then obviously the fight, because he took out the other guys that Hero had, including Hero himself. So I would love to see it. But I know you guys said it kind of builds the suspense, and you're just like, oh, that Jake Lockley, he's a bad mother. Shut your
There's
mouth.
There's a lot of stuff happening in this episode, bro. Like you got a lot.
Yeah, I want more, man. More. But wrapping up this fight sequence again at this point, it's now never. Kanju says we need to kill Ahmed. This is the last chance. They put them together, and we see him. The last bid is kill him, and we see this whole battle, this whole season that Mark has been known to kill on the orders of Kanju, but he finally has someone, a voice of reason, the good angel on his shoulder per se. Layla saying, "Don't do it," and he drops his weapon and says, "You know what, Kanju, you do it yourself, but before you do so, release us of them." And then we cut back to the facility. Amanda, your thoughts on that decision, the growth that we see from Mark, and of course your thoughts on how this scene plays out where he notices that, oh, this is all my mind. I want to be a superhero now.
Yeah, I was kind of confused how
Me too.
that went
Me
back and
too. I'm not gonna
forth,
lie.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, why are you cutting to the ward if you're in the middle of a fight and he's
Yeah.
making that massive decision? Like, wouldn't you be talking to Khonshu more so and then not going back there? Um, so yeah, I didn't really understand why they made that choice. I understand that's all in his head, but then I feel like because in episodes 4 and 5, when in 4 they switched to the ward, that's different.
Yeah.
And then 5 was like a whole like
Oh, yeah.
episode just there. But now that you're switching back and forth and then going to London afterwards, it's like, what is happening within like those 10 minutes? Like, it didn't make any sense to me. um yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. If they're free, they're free, but obviously, like, they had to end it somehow. I think that's what it was. I think in a way they needed to end it while still leaving it opened that they were together, and then it's
Yeah.
a good thing that Conchu's like. That's how I kind of interpreted it, but
Yeah.
it's confusing.
I'll
Yeah,
have to go back, Chris. Fill us in, man. I'll have to go back and look at that moment because again, he denies to do it. As soon as he releases them is when we go to the facility. Which to me, in my mind, funny enough, once they were released, Jake just did the rest, I guess, and Mark and
yeah,
Steven have to come to realization that we need to get out of our head. We need to break free of our mental prison per se. Any more thoughts on that, Chris, on how you interpreted that moment of them being free, I guess, and then I guess they're free in that world and they have to free themselves in that next scene in the facility. I don't know if that's
maybe.
I
tied
mean,
up.
yeah, I mean, I was just lost as everyone else. I was like, damn, like maybe we're not going back to the asylum today. Like maybe like that was it. Maybe that's the point. Like we're back in real life. But I guess they
Yeah.
had to, like, to Amanda's point, wrap it up. The biggest confusing thing for me at that part was I thought Mark's accent was Jake's accent because
Same.
he was talking extra like northeast, and I know he has a little different accent, of course, way different than Steven, but I was like, oh, this is him. This is the reveal. And I thought that was it because we talked about that a couple episodes ago. Maybe it was 4, about how that accent slipped out. And I'm like, okay, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get that whole new thing at the end in the post credit scene. And I was like, this is nuts.
It is not, and it goes back to episode 4 or 5 when we saw that other tomb that they didn't release. So yeah, I guess it's gonna need to be revisited in regards to that
Mhm.
moment. But again, yeah, it could have been explained a little bit more. I don't know why it had to be 43, 42, whatever minutes long, and they couldn't add an extra 10 minutes of that extra sauce on there. But that's
Yeah.
the decision they make. But again, I guess it's just a matter of he frees himself for Kanju, but now they get to free themselves, like I said, to the mental side of what they were going through. But we wrap up with Steven and now Mark in London, and Steven's, or it's just, I guess that was actually because didn't Layla say that was their old apartment, or it was like up the street from the old apartment. That wasn't their
Yeah.
old apartment because he said that was his mom's. I can't remember, but they're back in Steven's place. They got the 2 fishes, kind of alluding to 2 fish in a bowl, Steven and Mark, 2 of the same now. And we end the episode on that. We'll talk about the post-credit scene, but just again, Amanda, just your thoughts on how we wrap up the episode before we go into the post-credit scenes. Your thoughts on Steven and Mark being one and the same now.
I love it. I think that they went on a journey together. And again, like when we talk about contained storylines, it makes so much sense to end an episode with just the 2 of them accepting that they're going to live together and that they're whole. And I think that it just worked for what it was. The latch on the ankle was interesting because if they're not tied to Khonshu, then why would they still have to wear that? That was the one thing that I didn't really understand, because if you're not Moon Knight, but then that leads me to think that Jake Lockley was involved with that at the time,
Yeah.
and they're still worried about that because that's the only thing that I can think of.
Hmm.
Also, speaking of the blackout situation, possibly Khonshu could have made a deal with Jake during that
Separate little deal.
blackout.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then kind of asked Mark, and then he knew that would happen, type of thing.
Mm.
That's what I'm thinking of. But yeah, I really like that they ended it that way. again, like I was waiting for those credits. I was like, please let there be something, and there was. So thank God. But it's open ended. I think that their place there, if they do a season 2, they can do a season 2. It's not like they completely closed it off. So I was happy with it.
Yeah, and then Caitlin, yeah, again, in place of what Chris said earlier, is it real? Is it fake? Is it still tied into the asylum? A lot to be said. Chris, man, your thoughts? Any thoughts, theories on this whole latching of the bed? Are they still in the bed somewhere in the asylum?
Yeah, I'm just reading my man John's post here. You might want to put that up on the screen. But I think I liked when it got back to the. Well, let me read it for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we'll
saw
get
that
into that.
too.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, we'll get into that here in a second, John. Which appreciate you stopping by, my friend.
I liked that it ended where it began because it was perfect for this type of show. Like, all right, what journey did we even go on to like get back to the same spot? And I knew he was going to be tied up to the bed, so I was just like, okay, but I didn't know like how to explain like what he was doing tied up like that. But
Yeah,
I liked how it ended, and I was like, and I knew. Like I didn't know like from the internet that there was a post credit scene, but it's like I know they're gonna give us
have to
something
give
more
us
here
something.
because
Yeah,
you know that's just how it is with Marvel. But I was like, oh, okay, this is a good finale. Like they're taking some feedback on these Marvel finales, and they're giving us something to kind of like put a little bow on it, leave you with an open ended enough ending,
yeah.
so that you can have another season. But also,
Yeah.
if this was it, tells a little story, and then we'll wonder about the rest, and then you can always throw them back in later. But
Well
I
said.
love that
Yeah.
that it came back to where it started.
Yeah, no, good point. It would have
Yeah.
actually been a little bit cool too if there was maybe no latch, just because they think that they're free, and Jake might just be, allowing them to think that. Which
I think the
brings us
part
into
that's crazy is
go
that
ahead.
he was so shocked that he fell down, because
Yeah,
you would have thought that
Yeah.
he
he
would have.
gets
Yeah,
up and then he's like nervous about where he's stepping, then he realizes there
yep,
is no latch, and he's like, okay,
yep.
cool. But the fact that he thought he
He didn't
was
know. Yeah,
free, maybe
Yeah.
they're telling us, no, you're not done yet. Like, you know what
you're
I mean?
not done. Yeah,
I
and
like
that's
it.
yeah. I wonder if funny. I wonder if like Layla did that just to like poke fun of him or
Mess with
whatnot.
him.
Or they were just doing some freak shit.
Or that's just that, yeah, he got messing with hippos, you'll never know,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
He's experienced a lot. So it changes you.
Jesus.
Post-credit scene, Amanda. We see Mr. Arthur Hero in an actual mental facility. And he's, sand drops over the water, and then some mysterious guy with black gloves walks up to him, which I'm glad it was Jake Lockley, but if it would have been another character, that wears black, Daywalker, that would have
I
been
thought
cool
about
too.
it for a
But
second.
Yeah.
yeah, that would have been pretty cool. But who we get is very, very cool. We see him leading Mr. Hero into a limo, different from a taxi driver, which Jake in the comics drives taxi, but limos and taxis are, in the same family,
The
more or
Rolls
less.
Royce though.
Yeah, with the Spectre on there. I
Yep.
was waiting for DJ Khaled to come out, but we transition into and I think Amanda talked about earlier. She said it a lot, like clean. Kanju, yes, I'm trying to see if I can find a picture. Very clean, but he's having a conversation, man. He's like, "Oh, Mark Spector, I would never leave him." For Layla, he's still a corrupt mind. Now, I would like to introduce you. I don't know why it bothered me that he knocked on the window opposite of him versus the window right behind him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I haven't been enough limos, but I'd like to introduce you to my friend Jake Lockley. And he turns around, says, "Today you're gonna lose." Bang, bang, bang. Your thoughts, Amanda, on this post-credit scene, and officially the third personality has come out to play ball in Jake Lockley.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I had a feeling it was going to be Jake because I saw from his hat walking out of the facility, I'm like, it's definitely him. And then when he puts Harrow into the limo, you could see the side profile of Oscar. So I'm like, yes, confirmed, it's Jake Lockley. The way I took Harrow being in the facility is that being Amit's avatar left him a bit scrambled, and that's why he's in there. I think if that makes sense. But I'm just really excited to see what's going to happen after this. And I know they didn't say there was going to be a season 2, but it's impossible to put Jake Lockley in the front seat there. And they gave him, they made him speak Spanish, so it's completely different than the New York accent, which is fine. I mean, I think if you did like New York Mark Spector speaking in a different I guess like accent, and then have him the same. Like it just doesn't make sense.
Plus,
So
they
they had
already
to
changed Steven anyway, so it's like we
exactly.
should have
So
expected it to be different, way different.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was really cool, and like obviously Oscar Isaac can do no wrong with his performance. But yeah, the way I left it, like I saw this was that Mark was going to be this like millionaire that he is in the comics, and he's just going to take like the central focus of the character, and then Steven's going to be the protector, and then Jake's going to be a bit more ruthless. So give me a season 2, please and thank you, because I cannot do this. But yeah, I loved it. So.
Chris, man, your thoughts on this post-credit scene, getting introduced to this character. We got Moon Knight looking clean as hell. I think rocking that same Mr. Knight outfit. But your thoughts, man, on this whole shakeout of how we end the post-credit scenes here.
Yeah. Real good scene. One of the best endings, post credits that we've seen from Marvel. Definitely not shortchanged on it. Actually, like extended, like a full scene. Like that a lot. I thought like the whole Jake thing makes more sense to me because I remember last week I talked about like, if young Mark is feeling like his family or his mom was being kind of like abusive or whatever, like Steven is not the fighter to stand up to her.
Right.
So maybe he needed Steven to kind of like be lighthearted, be smarter, to take his mind off of it. But then maybe as he got a little older, so his like teenagers, maybe the family did get abusive, and he needed someone to be a little bit more stern. Yeah. And then he made Jake. So that's kind of what I was thinking of.
I 100% agree with you there, man. I think that it was someone that was created at a later point in time after Steven to face more of the more abuse, physical abuse. And that's because as we go back, which I am excited to go back and watch this, going back to those flashbacks again, Mark at that point, he didn't want to kill those guys, but Jake did. And he steps in when it needs to be. Yeah. He stepped in this episode when he was against the ropes with Hero. So yeah, I think there's definitely a lot more to explore.
Because when you're at that age, he was like, he's an only child or whatever. So he's like, well, I need a brother to like have someone at least to commiserate with. Like, when you're growing up, like you could live in a shitty, environment, but if you have a sibling, like, look, this is better than doing it alone. So maybe Steven was just for the companionship, which is what they show at this episode with Steven and Mark. And then maybe when things got really violent at home, he just needed, some more muscle.
I agree. Well said, guys. And really great, well put in post-credit scene. And again, we walk out. We're in London. We got the little moon there, which is really cool. But the question I have for you and Amanda and Chris is, okay, last time we were in London in Marvel, I don't know, it was in, I think, November, a movie called Eternals. We ended that film with a post-credit scene with Kit Harington talking to an off-screen gentleman by the name of Blade. So now we have two people who are a part of a particular group in the comics that goes by the Midnight Suns. Amanda, starting with you, are we leading to the supernatural all-star team, the Midnight Suns?
I would love for this to happen. You have no idea how much. The more Moon Knight, the better. I that's a very good point. I didn't even think of Eternals. And I thought that if anyone would have showed up, would have been either one of these guys. But I would love to see that. I think that we're going to get an introduction to Midnight Suns. I think I said this a couple episodes ago that it'll be in What If. And then hopefully...
A great way to ease people into the... Yep.
I like that because I think you can just do more characters animated wise and give them to like voice actors instead of like paying
and just test the reception.
Yeah, or just allow the live action actors to voice, because we have most of the Night Suns. We obviously got a Blade, got Doctor Strange, the Iron Fist. Go ahead and recast that character. And then of course we got maybe announcement of Ghost Rider and so on and so forth. But or maybe Nicolas Cage voices Ghost Rider in the What If episode.
Great. I love that. Yeah, I think that's where we would see them next.
Good idea.
But there's too much happening because they're also setting up like Young Avengers too on top of that, and it's who do you do? Like, what do you do first?
You do first, right? Oh, damn, Kevin Feige to be The man is literally has so many options. 2032, I think, what they said at CinemaCon as far as the next
10
10
years.
years.
My God.
We're not even the tip of the iceberg. Chris, man, your thoughts on that whole connection of we got some people in London that might do some damage in the supernatural world.
I think they have to, and I think what if, like you said, that's the easiest way to do it and test it. Like we were able to see this version of Doctor Strange, which maybe some of us have seen in a particular movie. I think it's just easy to just test things that way, and I think what Marvel is doing and what they should be doing is just testing Twitter feedback. Like if people are saying that they want this in large droves, like then do it. Like people might not be watching this show as much because it's a new character, but the people who are watching it, they're enjoying the character and they're gonna bring up this group. So if I'm Marvel, I can say, okay, look, we're already making Blade. Like the people want this, so like let's just do it. If this show wasn't getting any real I guess traction, then you can shelve it. But like there's obviously interest here. There's obviously interest in a darker Marvel world, as you guys talked about the Strange that's coming out. Like it's a darker look. You said there's a lot of horror elements. So like they're obviously willing to go there. So like they might as well just go there.
Yeah, and I'll just say that one more time. They go there, Chris. It's not full on rated R by no means, but it's easily the most violent MCU project to date. Like it's not even a joke how violent the film is. So I'm here for it. I'm here for the supernaturalness and all the good stuff that we're getting with potential characters. But shout out to again. Discuss Harley showing some love tonight, and everyone's showing love, but she's showing some extra love with the 1999 super chat here. So if he had made a deal with himself, then so who really is in control? Who really is running the show? So that's a great question, Harley. Amanda, we know Mark is the main person, but who would you say is? I mean, it seems like to me, Jake is the one that can just snap in, snap out. He has full control. If you ask me, your thoughts, Amanda?
You know what? Now that you say that, like even on the rooftop, as you mentioned before, he took control of both of them. So maybe like Jake is the central focus. I think if there would be a season 2, then they have to start with him. And they have to dive into that backstory to see how that happened, because damn, that's a very good question, because we do see the blackouts happening. So oof, it's a lot.
It's a lot. Chris, man, your thoughts on who's the leader of this, as Charles Barkley would say, this bus.
Yeah, shout out to the Celtics, shout out to the Nets. But yeah, I think that's a good point, because you have to think of like the moments when Mark and Steven were in the most danger. Jake took over, and that's something that we watched in the earlier episodes, them fighting over how to take control. Like it wasn't like they could just do it. So like obviously Jake has figured something out that they haven't yet. They hadn't at that point yet. So it's safe to say you could be in control.
Yeah. I mean, we might have another 4th, 5th, 6th personality somewhere deep in the subconscious of Mark. But I think right now, I think it's safe to say for whatever reason, Jake he's like, yep, I'm going to step in here. I'm going to pop out now. I'm going to ask this girl for a date. I'm going to, hop over here and learn how to drive.
But then, damn it, Jake, take over when you're leaving her hanging, man. Go on the date.
Exactly, like help them out.
Close the deal.
What's going on,
help
Jake?
Them out.
What's going on, man? But we'll see. A great question there. Discuss Harley, and also shout out to Strictly Starlight with just a super sticker, showing some love. I appreciate you. I hope you're doing well. Hope you enjoyed the show. Again, let us know in the comments, guys, your final thoughts and theories, predictions, which kind of brings us to the final question. Amanda, starting with you. Overall thoughts of this series from episodes 1 to 6, highs, lows, and the big question is, when will we see Moon Knight again? Season 2, solo movie, or Midnight Suns, or something else entirely?
This is the most consistent MCU show, period. Pacing, story-wise, performances, they never faltered. I think that they had a clear storyline from the very beginning in what the story they wanted to tell, the characters and who they wanted to dive into backstory wise. And that's really important when you do a show with 6 episodes, because we've seen that in other Marvel shows where the writing is not consistent. These characters are not consistent, and a lot of things, they drop the ball in certain cases. So in this case, pacing wise, story wise, performance wise, it's the best like MCU show for me for that reason.
Nice.
Yeah, I really loved it. I feel like as a whole, it really worked. And I have very, very few complaints. I think every episode I didn't have that many complaints, whereas other series I did. Um, I just hope that we get a season 2. I think Oscar Isaac deserves it. He's extremely talented, and I really want to see him take on Jake Lockley and give us that as well.
Yeah.
I would hope for Midnight Suns. I think that team is completely stacked, and it would be great to see that maybe in a couple of years. But
Yeah.
like I said, dip the toe. What if? And Mohamed Diab, the director, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
He really is.
His
And he
thing,
took
yeah.
the time with these characters. He really loved the story, and you could see that in every single scene. And I respect that.
Yeah.
So if anyone's touching Moon Knight again, it's going to be him. I don't want anyone
Mhm.
else touching him. And that's where I'm at with Moon Knight. I miss him already. I do.
Yeah.
Like,
I hope they keep them all in the manner because Loki, they got a whole new staff, new directors, new show writer, which might, be for the better. But hopefully, if they do bring back Moon Knight, which you would suggest you would want to see a Moon Knight season 2 versus a movie or a spinoff of him being included. That'd be the number one priority. Okay,
I think so. Just to like get more of the character, because I feel like we just scratched the surface.
Right.
So for him to be in a film or like another team up, we still have to understand the other personality type.
Yep. Great point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. And then just to recap, number 1 is Moon Knight. That's your favorite show of all the ones we gotten so far?
Yeah, it's Moon Knight, Loki,
Yeah.
and then Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
There you go.
Sorry.
There you go. Well said.
I said Loki. Come on. I said Loki. Loki was
Don't
number
try to
1.
blind me. Don't try to distract me with your Loki love.
I said Loki.
Well said, Amanda. Chris, man, same questions for you, man. Just overall thoughts of this show. Where are you ranking amongst the other shows? And then where would you ideally like to see Moon Knight again? Season 2, Midnight Suns, solo film, an Avenger crossover. Your thoughts on all that, man?
All right, I'll just spitball random thoughts. I think that the show, I don't consider myself a true comic book head, but I think it's a good show for the true comic book heads. I think they have to appreciate what they did with it, number 1. I think it's impressive what they've done, being the first Marvel Disney Plus show that wasn't a popular name, that created this type of like energy, buzz, getting this level of acting, like possibly the best acting that we've seen just from like a relatively unknown character. That's huge. I thought the show, it's intricate. It's not simple. It's confusing at times, and then hopefully it makes people want to watch it again. Fill in the plot holes and things like that. It's a very good show, and I think for the people who are like the diehard Marvel fans, like just of like the MCU, I have a hard time finding people who would rank it low on the MCU show list. Yeah, beyond top 3, like Amanda did. I would the next time I want to see him, I need a cameo. I just need him in a full movie as a cameo. And I know Daredevil is a much more established character as far as how many things we've seen him in. But when he pulled up in Spider-Man, the crowd energy, it's just like that moment where you're just like, this is like, okay, I see it, because we love him, but we thought he was in his own little world. You brought him into this world. So I think when we see Moon Knight again, if you just bring it, like let's say it's in Blade, like I think like that energy is gonna be crazy, especially from like that, like for the people who know, like if you know, you know, because it's gonna be one of those things where it's gonna be someone watching Blade that doesn't know Moon Knight, the show, and then they're gonna be asking their neighbor like, "Yo, who is it?" Like, girl, Shirley, like, you don't know Moon Knight. Yeah, you don't know Moon Knight. Just hush right now. We'll talk about it later.
Right.
Like I think
go sit in the car.
I would love to see that kind of energy. As far as my rank for this, I would put it top 3, but maybe I'll put it at 3. I still maybe it didn't shake Loki and Wanda from the top for me. Maybe it's definitely top 3, and because I think it's no way that Falcon and Hawkeye are better. Am I forgetting a show?
What If and Hawkeye?
Yeah.
To me, I kind of think of I always put What If as like the Spider-Verse type of thing.
It's a separate.
I really did enjoy What If more than I thought I would, though. So like, What If would probably be right, maybe 4. What If would be the next one right after Moon Knight.
Gotcha. Well said, guys. Well said. Well, I share a lot of you guys' sentiment as far as overall, not a lot of complaints. Visual effects not as clean. Sure, that happens with even big budget films. some of the development could have been a little bit more fleshed out. Again, that 6th episode, I think, is the biggest enemy right now with Marvel. I do wish that we would have got more action. You all know I want more action. I mean, the show is called Moon Knight and not Mark Spector and the others. So I wanted more of Moon Knight in action. I think it would have been, if we would have had more episodes, we could have gotten a better balance of visceral action scenes of Moon Knight as well as the character. Because at the end of the day, what this show is a character study. This is a character study of Mark Spector, who he is, like Chris said, for when we see him again, we don't have to spend 30 minutes on who Mark, we already know who he is, and the next time we see him, hopefully we get more action while still learning more about Jake and stuff of that nature. So really, I think the thing I'll take away with this show is Oscar Isaac. I already knew he was fantastic. I've seen a lot of his projects, but to me, I don't know, Amanda, Chris. I think this might be his best performance, and that says a lot because he's been doing some fantastic work his whole career. But I think what we saw this man doing, from playing 2 essential characters, 3 at times, being Kanju at one point in the season, is just nothing short of fantastic. And I think not only will he get nominated, I wouldn't be surprised if he might pull that win out. Again, there's a lot of great shows out there. HBO always, comes and delivers with great performances, and Apple, of course, yeah. So we'll see, man. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. Ranking wise, and you all go ahead. Some of you all have already shared your list, but I'm right now.
Derek is going crazy.
Let's see. Derek got
WandaVision.
What if? Woo, Falcon. Ooh, okay. He coming in with the fire.
That's a hot take.
Respect the Falcon placement, but
That's
my heart's breaking
take.
with the Moon Knight placement.
I think where's Caitlin's? Let's see. Hers was WandaVision, low-key, Moon Knight, what if Falcon. Ooh,
me and Caitlin always going to be online. We always going to be on the same way.
She's supposed to be my. What is this? Supposed to be on my side, Caitlin.
I am very similar to Caitlin. So I'm low-key. I'm WandaVision. I'm Falcon and Winter. Or I'm not Falcon and Winter. I'm this show, Moon Knight. Then Falcon and Winter Soldier. Then What If, and then Hawkeye.
Oh,
I will never forgive Marvel for what they did to Kingpin.
Hawkeye gotta be everybody last. Like, it gotta be.
I think, and it's not that it's terrible, guys. It's just that this is a great Christmas special, right? It's just a one-off Christmas. They were one contained area, which another thing about Moon Knight, the fact that we globetrotted, it was so cool. But yeah, Hawkeye, I don't know, man.
But think about it like this, because to me, my favorite character of all is obviously Elena.
She's so
and she was so fire in Hawkeye. But like, if they didn't have Elena in Hawkeye, my god.
We would have been.
Oh my god!
Only thing we would have been talking about is what was the group, those
dress stuff. That was good. The tracksuit, the tracksuit mafia,
the goofy guys that made the suits for them.
Oh, the LARPers.
The LARPers.
Yeah, we would have had more time with them instead of Yelena. You know that. You know.
Yeah. No, Sam and Bucky, it's still better than Hawkeye. Like, it's
okay.
Still,
good.
Yeah,
that's what I want to hear.
That show really did get hit. Not to make excuse, that show really did get hit by the pandemic as far as Falcon.
I'll never forgive them. But it's okay.
They really got screwed over with all that, as well as the world. But
I know.
But yeah,
guys,
most important.
Yeah, right. But I think the general consensus is Hawkeye came. It delivered Moon Knight delivered in a lot of good departments with very few complaints besides, for me, the action. I want more of that action. And I guess the last thing as far as what I would like to see Moon Knight, I think Chris talked on the cameos.
Need that cameo.
No, I like the Blade, Chris. I like that a lot. There is another show, and actually it's literally a legit one-night special, Werewolf by Night. Which is literally a werewolf. We're going to see a transformation of a guy becoming a werewolf who his first appearance was in a Moon Knight comic. So I don't know if it'll be great to get Moon Knight in that special, as well as other characters like a Blade or whatnot. But yeah, I would like to see him cameo in something like that. And I don't know if he will get a solo film, but definitely I want a season 2. I definitely agree with you all there on a season 2. But there you have it, guys. This is our final recap breakdown after show of Moon Knight episode 6. Across the board, we were pretty happy with it, with a couple different grievances, but overall, Disney, keep it up. Keep it up. Let's hope for round table wise. Amanda, what's the expectations right now for Miss Marvel? Is the excitement level still there, or is it just kind of slowly but surely kind of balloons inflating?
I don't know, because Moon Knight's up here. It's kind of like the WandaVision Falcon and the Winter Soldier situation, where you have this, and now I don't know how I'm gonna go into Miss Marvel. I hope I enjoy it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. I think
I'm rooting
the
for it.
whole-
I'm rooting for it.
Yeah, I'm rooting for it too, but I think the whole Captain Marvel universe just I don't have
Yeah.
very fond memories of that film or that entire character, and I
Yeah.
love Carol. That's what breaks my heart is that I just don't care. But I hope Comic-Con changes that.
I'm so surprised that and I think the show's going to have a lot of surprises, if I'm being honest with you, because there isn't like a star power. Like Chris mentioned, we don't know Moon Knight much of anything, but we knew who Oscar Isaac was, so he was the
Yeah.
pool. But unfortunately, this young lady who has a lot of pressure on her shoulder to bring Kamala Khan to the big screen, and there's no other, like, from what we know, any big casting, like the mom isn't, someone famous, the dad or the grandfather. So they're going to have a lot to do, and especially with it being like more of a kid-friendly show from what we see from the posters and all that stuff. But we're hoping for the best for it. But Amanda, starting with you, any outros? Where can the people find you? What's next on the docket for written reviews and full reviews on your platform?
Yeah, well, I'm probably going to do a spoiler-filled review of Multiverse of Madness because I have a lot of things to say about that movie. I really do.
Just
that
don't say it
involve
right now.
spoilers. I won't. I promise. I'm good. I won't. I have that. I watched Our Father, and I know Chris, you just did a review for it, and I watched it as well. I have some things to say about that one too because I'm kind of scarred.
We're gonna have to talk offline about that.
Yeah, because I'm low-key scarred. I shouldn't have watched it late at night. Anyways, there's probably that one coming out next. I have a Young Avengers article dropping on Collider over the weekend, so I'm really excited about that one. I've learned a lot about them, so you can go check that out. And you can always follow me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. All the links to my website and my YouTube are below. I have my Moon Knight review up right now on YouTube, so go check that out. And right after the show at 8 p.m. Eastern, over at the Suit Up Geeks, we will be reviewing episode 6 and talking about the future of the MCU.
Oh, yeah, definitely do so. Yeah. Check out that stream. Like Amanda said, tons of great articles, ton of great content on her YouTube channel. So definitely check her out. Chris, man, I know Amanda mentioned Our Father, man. I know you reviewed it as well. So where can the people find that review, and what else do you got lined up for the fine folks at home?
Yeah, for sure. I just dropped the Our Father review. It's on my channel now. That documentary comes out next Wednesday, the 11th. Mm-hmm. So check that out. That's insane. I think Netflix is gonna trend for that one. Besides that, I think if I can get it fast enough, if I can do it fast enough, I think I'm gonna do senior year or senior prom, whatever. That's the one with what's my girl's name, Amanda from
Rebel Wilson.
Yeah, Rebel. Yeah. So I think they're sending that one out on Friday. So I'm gonna do that. If I can whip something up, maybe I'll do a short for Strange when I see that tomorrow. But that's pretty much it. There's a lot of stuff that Netflix is coming out in the next couple of weeks, and then I'll work to try to get Stranger Things done. I should do some catch up like Amanda did, so I can really remember where the hell I am. But yeah, that's what's going on. Taste Take.
There you go, man. I'm definitely, Stranger Things. I can't believe it's coming out in a couple weeks. So on the same day as Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's going to be a crazy weekend. I don't know how, we're going to have to make multiple people to watch these shows. We're going to have to get clones of ourselves. But guys, I got to take the time. Amanda and Chris, as always, guys, I really, really appreciate these conversations I have. I always look forward to these Wednesdays because you guys are both incredible. Have a good time. We always laughing, the theories, the predictions. It's such just an honor and a privilege to be on the platform with you all every single Wednesday. And again, hopefully we can do this for future Marvel shows and maybe even sooner for Doctor Strange. We'll see. But I can't go without thanking you two first, and then of course everyone in the community that has tuned in every week, showing love, support, liking, sharing, commenting, donating to the channel, supporting these two great people on their platforms whenever they drop content, checking out their stuff as well. So it means a lot. YouTube, there's a bazillion people on this platform, a bazillion people that's probably live right now talking about this same show. So the fact that you all were tuning in every single Wednesday to show us some love and support, it really means a lot. And we all appreciate the support. So again, guys, Amanda and Chris, their links are in the bio. If you're not subscribed to them, go see a doctor, maybe one by the name of Stephen Strange. He's a good doctor when he can be. But no, guys, check out Amanda and Chris. They are incredible content creators, even better people. So definitely do yourself a favor and check them out. And we'll, again, if time allows it, we might be back this weekend to talk about Doctor Strange. So I can't wait to hear Chris's thoughts on that film. And shout out to John real quick before we leave. Most anticipated future MCU show for you guys might be Secret Invasion for me. Amanda, most anticipated announced show that we know is coming for you?
She-Hulk, 100%.
She-Hulk.
Took my answer.
Sorry.
My answer is always She-Hulk. I'm just so interested to see how they do it, and if I get a Bruce Banner cameo,
which I don't want to spoil it, Chris. He's in the show.
Oh, he's in it. Oh, he's in it.
He's in the trailer.
We don't need Bruce
we
Banner.
Need that. We need him. Y'all hate him so much. That's crazy.
We hate him. Marvel hates him, bro. Marvel hates Hulk.
Facts.
But that's a good one. I'm looking forward to that one as well. Secret Invasion is up there. See the Daenerys make her return on TV. I think for me, it's either between Ironheart or the Wakanda show, because I'm really intrigued to see what they do with that. So those are my two top to see what they got there. But shout out to John with the super chat. Shout out to Derek as well as Discuss Harley. We appreciate the love there. But guys, this has been fun. We appreciate the love, and hopefully we'll see you guys on the next live stream. You guys have a good rest of your night. Take care, everybody.
Peace.